Well, it's a big question and a difficult one at that, how to make our schools safe. And tonight, students, parents, educators, and law enforcement all got together trying to come up with answers.
13 ABC and The Blade held a one-hour town hall tonight on school violence and the search for solutions. This after the horrific shootings at Marjory Stoneman Douglas High School in Florida in February, and then a rash of threats at local schools since then. 13 ABC's Ben Cathy was at the town hall where many, if not most, sides of the issues were included. Ben?
And Lee and Diane, some students in the crowd said they're scared to attend school. Today, they got the chance to ask the grown-ups about violence in the classroom. One of the biggest topics tonight was arming teachers in schools.
How do you propose more guns will be a solution to ending gun violence?
I represent over 2,500 teachers. And not one of our teachers are raising their hands to say, yes, I want to be the armed guard.
Kevin Dalton heads up the Toledo Federation of Teachers. Even though some districts like Hicksville allow armed teachers, he doesn't want to see this in TPS.
We do not need to be the frontline security office for the students and staff.
I have to clarify that the people that are in the building when the violence starts are the first line, no matter what, whether you want to admit it or not.
That's gun rights activist Joe Eaton from the Buckeye Firearms Association. He talked about long police response times in rural counties. Wood County Sheriff Mark Vasilishin says he just can't afford to have deputies in every school.
No one should be forced to carry a gun if they don't want to, but I personally know of teachers who have approached their school administrators saying, gee, we do want to carry a gun to be able to protect the students.
TPS Superintendent Dr. Romulus Durant got a first-hand trial of what it's like to carry a gun at an NYPD summit.
They do it in a simulation model and put the guns on the educators and say, now you take control of the situation. And what we were finding was we were shooting ourselves. We were shooting innocent bystanders in the room.
The students here had a lot of questions about mental health screenings and treatments and ways schools can help.
But I think having the availability and accessibility of mental health is imperative, whether it is in school or a direct, quick, fast link up.
Eaton made the case that the AR-15 had been around since the 50s, but mass shootings are a modern issue.
But we did not see this problem until recently, so I don't think it's genuine to say that the problem is the firearms.
He's giving you facts that are correct, except that we don't live in that world anymore. We live in a different kind of world, and so we have to change as it goes along, and more guns are not the answer.
We talked about schools, we talked about everything else, but the home environment had to be part of that equation.
With the focus at home, one of the panelists, Diana Ruiz Krause, said one of the simplest things parents can do is have their kids screenshot those threats on social media. That way, some of these crises may be averted. Reporting live tonight, Ben Cathy, 13 ABC Action News.
And after tonight's live forum, we asked local students who were there how they felt about the discussion and if their questions on the topic of safety were answered.
I really feel like asking all the questions that we were able to ask, although we had more, all the questions that we were able to get through to them really hit them and they actually had to think about them.
I feel like there should have been more of a explanation than an answer as to, I feel like there needs to be more of an explanation as to what they're going to do about it, what's really going to happen, is there really going to be a change?
Some of the concerns that were risen here, I believe that they were great concerns. There's some of my own concerns, but I think some of the solutions that were offered today by some of the experts, as they were called, I don't believe they were good solutions. I don't believe they were practical solutions.
A lot of different opinions, as you can see, and that's what today was about, listening to one another, voicing ideas, voicing opinions. And if you missed tonight's town hall, it will be rebroadcast on May 6th at 1 p.m. right here on 13 ABC.
And earlier this week, Governor Kasich signed an order designed to fix a loophole to keep guns away from criminals. The new executive order would work to improve how state data is reported to the National Background Check System. It'll also bring back a committee of state agencies that will look for gaps in the data reported to that system. Now, for one member of tonight's panel, this discussion was extremely personal.
Natalie Hickson is a teacher at Bedford Junior High, and she's also the sister of Chris Hickson, one of the 17 victims of the Parkland, Florida shooting.
13 ABC's Amy Montgomery has more on her fight for change. Amy?
Lee, Diane, Natalie is working hard to turn her grief into something positive, what she calls common sense laws to protect students. As a teacher herself, she says that she has a duty to do that, and now she's doing it in her brother's name.
late nights, long days. That was just him. It didn't matter. He wanted to make sure the kids were always his top priority from morning to night.
The memories Natalie has of her older brother, Chris, are held close to her heart.
My brother's a very outgoing person. He enjoyed working with all of his students. He enjoyed school ever since being in school as a teenager.
The 49-year-old was an athletic director and wrestling coach at Stoneman Douglas High School in Parkland, Florida. He loved his job and was devoted to his students. But on February 14th, when he left for work, he never came back home.
His actions of what he did that day, irreplaceable. If he had to do it all over again, he would do it all over again.
Chris was one of 17 victims killed on that tragic day. Understandably, his death has changed his sister, a fellow teacher, and the way she looks at her job and life.
You know, what ifs. I play a lot of what if games. What my brother did would be nothing less than what I've expected him to do.
It's also sparked something inside of her, encouraging her to fight for a change. Thursday, she was a part of a panel discussion hosted by 13 ABC about school violence. She says the time is now.
Why is it taking so long? I don't understand.
She's talking about what she calls common sense solutions to gun violence. She says there is no quick fix and is adamant that this is not about taking away Second Amendment rights. Instead, it's about taking a number of different approaches with the end goal of saving lives.
And somewhere it does have to stop. Enough is enough. It has to stop.
In Perrysburg Township, Amy Montgomery, 13 ABC, Action News.
And a personal thanks to all of the panel members who came out and all the students and parents and educators who came out as well. I thought it was a good discussion, and it's not the end, it's just the beginning of this talk.
And students were impressive, and a very diversified panel, and a lot of tentacles to this, and we know it's not going to be solved overnight or years. It will take time. We hope it won't take years. But,
No.